Our next exercise or assignment in Google Sheets is going to be about random events. And what we're going to talk about here is rolling dice. I'm going to go over here to my fake board here, which is really just Photoshop. Let's think about two dice for a minute. If you're playing a game and you have dice that look like this, just kind of normal, game dice, what's the lowest possible number that you could roll if you're rolling two dice? Tick-tock, tick-tock, ding, it's a 2, right? Because you could get snake eyes. So that's the lowest possible number. What's the highest possible number you could get? Tick-tock, 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 ding. You could roll a 12 because you could roll 2 6s, and that would give you 12. And so, like if it's your turn on a game, you would move 12 spaces or whatever. So those are your limits, right? Lowest and highest. All right. But in between there, of course, you could roll anything like a 3 or a 4 or a 5 or a 6 or 7. But what number is most common? Does anybody know? Does anybody know? Does anybody know? Tick-tock, tick-tock, ding. 7 is the most, statistically, if you roll the dice enough, you're going to get more 7s than anything else. There's a reason for that. We're not going to go into it in this movie. But here's what we're going to get into today. So what if we up it by 1? What if we say, okay, what if we do 3 dice? Then what becomes the most common number then? Right? If you take 3 dice and you roll them and you add up, and let's think about this. If you're doing 3 dice, what's your lowest possible? Well, you could roll a 3 because you could roll a 1, a 1, and a 1. What's your highest possible? Well, you could roll an 18 if you're adding all the dice up because you could roll a 6, a 6, and a 6. And then in between there, you could roll a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You got all those possibilities. What turns out to be the most common? Well, we're going to test it out a little bit. So let me show you the things I have set up here, and we'll take a look at, okay, so how would you do this? On Google Classroom, and at the time of making this movie, this is not all linked up, but it will be. You'll have several things linked up. One of them is a tally sheet that looks like this. Now, what I'm going to ask you to do is simulate 50 rolls of 3 dice. 50 rolls of 3 dice. And we know that if you roll 3 dice and you add them up, then your results that you're going to get are going to be anywhere from 3 to 18. So every time we roll the dice, we want to keep track of, okay, what did we roll? And then when you get done with 50 rolls, we want to know, okay, so how many 3s did we get? How many 4s did we get? How many 5s did we get? How many 6s did we get? So I've hooked up a tally sheet like this if you can print it, right? If you have the capability at home to download this and print it, then great. But if you can't print it, just set yourself up one kind of like this. Just take a sheet of paper. And here's my thought on the sheet of paper, and I'll show you how I would work this. On the top part, the part up here, let's change that color. The part up here, that's just, I want you to do 50 rolls. So that's just like a scratch off, right? Every time you roll a dice, you just scratch one of those off. And then down on the bottom part, this is where we keep track of, okay, every time, I would use tally marks. Every time you roll a 3, if you get a result that is a 3, make a tally mark. If you get a result that is a 6, make a tally mark. And I'll kind of show you how that would work. In fact, I'll even use this one right here as I do some of these. Now, here, the other thing that I have linked up for you on Google Classroom is a link to this website set up right here. It's random.org, and they have a dice roller. Okay, and we're going to want to roll 3 dice. Now, make sure you do that. Make sure you set it to 3 dice. And if I just click that button that says roll dice, look what it does. All right, you rolled 3 dice, and so I got a 4 and a 6 and a 6, so that would turn out to be a 16. So, excuse me. I'm going to kind of quickly, there's going to be some video magic that happens here, but here's what I would do. if I come along here and I say roll the dice, you just hit roll again, roll again, roll again. So let's say I just rolled it, and I got a 6, a 3, and a 6. So what do we got there? 12 and 3 is 15. So on my sheet of paper, I would scratch off, let's say that's roll number 1, and I got a 15. So I would make a tally mark, okay? Then I would go roll the dice again, roll again, 3 and 3 and 6. So that looks like a 12. I got a 12. And on my sheet of paper, I would scratch it off. That's roll number 2, and I got a 12. I would roll again, 2 and a 1 and a 1. So I got a 4. So that was roll number 3, scratch it off, and I rolled a 4. I'm just making tally marks. And so I'm going to do a few more before the video magic happens here. A 2 and a 6 and a 5. So that's what, 8 and 5 is 13. So roll number 4, I rolled a 13. Let's give that a tally mark, and I'll do one more before the video magic happens. 5 and 4 is 9, and I got another 13. Okay, all right, that's 9 and 4 is 13. So that was roll number 5, and I rolled a number 13. Now, some video magic is going to happen. All of a sudden, we're going to fast forward, and there's going to be 50 rolls with all the results. On the end of the video magic, I'm hitting roll again, 7, 10. So my 46th roll is a 10. You get to watch my last few here. 7, that's 9. So my 47th roll is a 9. Roll them again, 8 and 3. My 48th roll is an 11. Roll them again, 5 and 4. My 49th roll is a 9. And my last roll, 3 and 5, is 8. My 50th roll turns out to be an 8. So now I'm sitting here staring at my results. I have rolled the dice 50 times, and here's how they fell out. So you're not going to probably get all the numbers. I didn't get any 3s, I didn't get any 18s, I didn't get any 17s. That happens. All right, so now we have one last thing to do. These are tally marks, right? So let's kind of transfer these into numbers. That I got 0 3s, I got 1 of those, I got 1 of those, I got 4 of those, 1 there, 5 there, 7 there, 10s, I had 4 10s, 4 11s, 5 12s, 6 13s, 7 14s, 4 15s, 1 16, 0 here, and 0 here. So that's how mine turned out, right? So the one other thing that I have hooked up for you on Google Classroom is a spreadsheet that looks like this. And there's a spot up here that says your name, and you could put that on there if you want. It's not the end of the world if you don't. But what you do have to do here is enter how did your 50 rolls turn out, right? So I'm just to make sure we know, right? Like mine, I had 0 3s, so here I would put a 0 in there. How many 4s did I have? I'm going to go back and look at my, you can do this on a sheet of paper. Do it on a sheet of paper. I'm using Photoshop to do it because I'm making a movie. All right, so I had 1 4. And I'm real quickly going to enter these in. I had 5s, I had 1, and 6s, I had 4. So I'll go 1 there. And I think, did it say I had 4 6s? Yes. And I had 1 7. 8s, I had 5, and then we go 7 and 4. So it goes 5, 7, 4. And for 11s, I had 4, and then 5, and then 6. So I go 4, 5, and then 6. I'm entering all my results in here. 14s, what I have 7 of those. That was my highest number. 15s, I had 4. And then 16s, I had 1, and then I had a couple of zeros at the end. Now, we have kind of always been formatting. I'm just going to center those is all I'm going to do, just so they're lined up a little bit better. We've been formatting stuff like every assignment, but you know what? On this one, I'm not going to say you don't even have to format anything. But what I do want you to do is make sure, excuse me, that you have done this dice simulator which I've got linked up on Google Classroom. It's random.org/dice, and make sure you set it to 3. And you simulate, you click that roll dice thing 50 times, and you track your results, like I did right here. How did they all come out, right? And then once you have your results, I need them. So you're going to click on that spreadsheet that I have linked up, and enter your results here in the frequency row, in row 5, where it says frequency. How did they all turn out? How many 3s did you get? How many 4s? How many 5s? How many 6s? How many 7s, 8s, 9s, all the way through. And then you got to turn this in. Now, I bet you can guess that there is some more work coming with these numbers in the next lesson. But that's the end of this lesson, so let's move on.